So there's something that I want to talk about, and I'm going to be super real about where it comes from. I work closely with creators every single day, and this is something that almost every single one of them is carrying. At some point, quietly in the back of their head, this fear sits there. And it's not the content, and it's not the revenue, and it's not actually the strategy or the growth stuff. It's the secrets, the weight of carrying it. There's a specific kind of dread that you feel when you're doing something in life that you have to hide from everybody. And I know that all my content girlies know exactly what I'm talking about. So let's talk about the fear of when somebody finds out. And notice I use the words when and not if, because every creator knows it's gonna happen eventually. So let's actually break it down and talk about what happens. Because 9 times out of 10, it's not this dramatized fear play that you've played out in your head, and people are actually super receptive and understanding. So this is normally how it goes. There's 3 versions of what can happen. Version 1, furious. And this one does for real happen. A parent can be devastated that your future is ruined. A partner feels like he was not in on the secret part of your life. And this is a conversation that can get loud and doesn't get resolved in just one night. And I'm not going to pretend like this version doesn't exist, because it does. And when it happens, it's really hard. But here's what you actually need to know about it. This is the least common outcome. And I mean that by like a lot. It's just your 3 a.m. brain rot telling you that everybody's going to think you're a failure or you have something to be ashamed of. Version 2 is the confusion. Now this is the one that happens 9 times out of 10. This is the version of the story where the person that found out doesn't actually really know what they found out. What is OnlyFans? What does that mean? What do you actually do again? The narrative that they've told themselves doesn't actually fit the person that they know, the person that they love, their friend. Now they're trying to apply this bigger picture onto you. So those people will have a lot of questions for you. But questions are okay. Questions are workable because that means they can get to a point of understanding. Questions mean that the door is still open and it's something that you can actually work with. The confused reaction is often the one that becomes okay with time. Sometimes this is the one that even becomes something that's really good, because once the confusion gets dissolved, the answers are there. Now let's talk about version 3, supportive. Now this one of course is going to surprise people the most because it's the one you don't expect. The person that you were most scared to tell actually just wanted you to be okay, and once you told them, it no longer felt like you were carrying something alone. And trust me, if you work with the right agency and they hear the revenue that you're pulling in, they're going to feel nothing but proud of you. I've watched creators come back from these conversations lighter than what they've expected. Like they've finally been able to put something down that they actually forgot that they were carrying all this time. That version exists way more often than the fear tells you. So let's talk about the practical steps of what to do if somebody actually finds out. Because I'm not going to be like, oh, bestie, it'll be fine, and then just leave you hanging without some practical steps. The first tip I would give you is know your anchor before you have the conversation. Your anchor is the thing that's true, and it's the thing that you can come back to when everybody's looking at you like a crazy person. Not a script, not a rehearsed answer that you're going to blurt out to everybody, but your reason why. Some examples of this could be you didn't want to work a 9 to 5 anymore and you didn't want to flirt with your toxic boss. And of course, another example of this is definitely I just want to be financially independent and live my best life. You are safe and you just wanted control of what you do with your time and your life. When people understand this, the fear will dissolve. If people get emotional, which sometimes they will, come back to your anchor. That's why it will always serve you. Now, the second practical step is don't have the conversation when you're full on in panic. That's not going to work. I know it's not always an option to carefully plan out when you're going to tell somebody or how, but if it happens that you didn't plan it out, please make sure that you calm down before you tell them. Because let's be honest, females can be a little bit emotional at times, but we have every reason to be. So let's just make sure that the conversation turns out in your favor, because people in their judgments should keep quiet anyways. So let's recap, breathe, find your anchor, and take some time to calm down. Because the energy that you carry into a conversation shapes how the conversation is going to go way more than your mindset or your fear. A calm voice that says, I'm not ashamed, I did this for these reasons, and I'm damn proud of myself. A panicked voice says, this is a crisis, I've taken the easy way out, and doesn't actually look at OnlyFans for what it is, a business. The third thing I would tell you is give people time to process. The first reaction is almost never the final one. People need time to go from shock, confusion, acceptance, and ultimately excitement for. And the biggest mistake that I've heard some creators do is try to resolve it in all one go. Trying to get the answer out of every single question, trying to make them feel comfortable, all in one night. No, babes. Break them the news, give them time to process, and also give yourself time to just live your life. There's a few things I've learned while working at Iconic Studios and being the head of model success, because for a lot of our creators, I'm the person that they call a 10 p.m. And this is something that I wish people had said louder. The people that actually love you and accept you for you will always come around. The people that don't are just trying to diminish your shine. The conversation that you've been dreading for months will always be less catastrophic than it is in your mind, especially if you have the right team supporting you. At Iconic Studios, we will come in and give you some advice if there's issues around not wanting people to know, or maybe somebody found out and now you're having the worst day. We're always there for you. The shame is always the loudest before the conversation actually starts, not during it. It's just the anticipation of the big mountain that you've built in your head. And finally, this is something that all my creative girlies need to take to heart. The people that don't come around don't deserve to be in your life. They don't even deserve a second of your time. I know that's hard to hear, but I'm not going to pretend that it's going to be easy. Some people will judge you and leave your life. I work in this industry. I'm not a creator. I'm the one that does the calls and the spreadsheets and makes sure that all of the goals are taken care of. But I see and know this space from a female perspective, working in it every single day. And all that I see is real women building real businesses with real intention and achieving financial freedom. And those same goals are sitting worrying every single day about what if somebody finds out. I can't make that fear go away. I can't make you proud of yourself. And I can't promise that every single conversation you're going to have is going to go your way. I can't give you a script that will work on every single person. But I can tell you what I've actually watched over and over again. Most people, when they find out, they're more okay than you expected. And you got to stand firm in your business because you're not doing anything wrong. You're building financial freedom and you're the one that's going to be able to retire your mother. Comment found out if you've been in this position before and you need a team that can support you through.